You can listen to the Canadian Gothic early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Include it with Prime.
You are listening to Canadian Gothic.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to the Canadian Gothic series exploring the 2022 disappearance of then 23-year-old mother of two, Emily Bailey. In our prior episode, we met one of the last people to see Emily, Nicole Margarrison. During the talk, Nicole shared some very troubling information about the circumstances of Emily's disappearance. Specifically, the behavior of the man Emily was last seen with, a fella named Jeff Johnson, who happens to be the brother of Nicole's partner. To put it lightly, when that episode was released, just about all hell broke loose. Many people who had been following Emily's story were hearing these details for the first time, and I'm pretty certain it resulted to many calls to the investigators of this case. But I'll tell you up front, it's probably going to happen again after this episode. Shortly after the release of the prior episode with Nicole, I was contacted by someone else very close to this story, and they offered to reveal new details that will shed even more light on what may have happened to Emily. Brandon Hunter is the father of one of Emily's daughters. You've heard him mentioned in past episodes as he was the person who actually reported her missing to Hamilton police. Well, as you're soon going to learn, Brandon was in regular contact with Emily leading up to her last known movements, and some of the information she shared with him led to Brandon showing up at the front door of Jeff Johnson's house, demanding answers just days after the missing persons report was filed. So let's get into it. Tonight, in this episode of the Canadian Gothic, we'll be joined by Brandon Hunter for a discussion surrounding the disappearance of his close friend and the mother of his child, Emily Bailey. Before we get into your connection to Emily and how you met her and all that, tell me a bit about you. Who are you? Where are you?
My name is Brandon Hunter. I'm 28. I met Emily probably 2018, I think I met Emily. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those, I met her at a bar randomly. And it's a funny story. I bumped into her and spilled her drink on the pool table and I had to buy her another one. That's how we met.
That's a good trick to meet someone, actually.
The start of me and Emily.
Wow, that is a strange start. And now you are the father of Emily's youngest or oldest?
Yes, Kinsley.
Kids, okay. So you meet Emily in this strange kind of way at a bar. What other than kind of a mutual enjoyment of having a good time at karaoke night at this particular bar, what brought you together? Like, what do you think connected you two, or what about you and her were a match for that period of time, do you think?
I was living in Scarborough with my father, and I would frequent Hamilton because, like I said, my mom, my family live here, and I would come visit Emily a lot. And it was kind of weird to me that she never had like a steady place of living. Mm-hmm. And the one or two times that we went back to her mom's house, it was not very amicable. And she was bouncing around between friends' houses. And I felt for the girl, and I brought her to Scarborough to live with me. She's lived with me for about 3-4 months out in Scarborough. And due to some unfortunate events that I highly regret right now, we broke up and she came back to Hamilton. Mm. About a week or two after her returning to Hamilton, she tells me she's pregnant. Oh. And at that time, it was a little spiteful breakup, and it came down to the day Kinsley was born on March 2nd, 2020. And I got a picture sent to me just after midnight, and I looked at it and I said, that's a damn ringer of me as a baby.
Wow.
And from there, it was a very rocky relationship between me and her for the first 6 months of Kinsley's life.
Yeah. And
then after that, we got closer and we would see each other a lot more. I would talk to Kinsley and come see her as much as I can. And then due to incidents that transpired early last year, I got incarcerated, came out in October of last year. Mm-hmm. The day I got out of jail in October, Emily's so excited because she's the first person that I called when I left the jail. She told me to call her when I got home. I did. And she was staying in a park at the time in a tent. And she had mentioned that she just missed some place that was handing out food for people that were staying in the park. And she wasn't able to get food for the night. And asked if I could find someone to get her $20 to get some food. I was like, let me see what I can do for you. I checked how much balance I had on my credit card, and I told her, find what you want on Uber Eats. Let me know. I'll order it for you.
Hmm.
I ended up sending about $75 worth of food to the park that night.
Wow.
And from that day on, that me and her became best friends. She would call me every day, and any time of the night. She'd just call me. If I didn't answer, she'd call back again until I answered.
Huh.
And she was amazing. And anytime she had any problems or turmoil that she was going through, she would video call me, even if she didn't say anything because of either maybe out of fear or whatever the case may be. She would subtly show me bruises or something and let me know what was going on.
Okay.
And I would constantly try to tell her, if you need help with anything, let me know. I will be there for you. You're the mother of my daughter. No matter what we've been through, you gave me the biggest blessing of my life. And I'm forever indebted to you for that.
Hmm. So you really like kind of reconnected prior, just a couple months prior to her going missing. It sounds like just with you getting out of prison or whatever. It seems like you were just kind of getting on the right path as co-parents or whatnot. Although you weren't together, it seemed like the relationship was good between you two at this point.
It was beyond good. It got to the point where my mom called me and she said, what's going on between you and Emily? You guys are talking a lot more than you used to. And I just had to laugh. And I'm like, Mom, I love her. She's my best friend, right?
Hmm.
And so from there, I was on house arrest in Scarborough. I was bound to stay in my home or be with my surety. When I found out at beginning of January, my mom would message me or call me every day and say, have you heard from Emily? I said, no. I'll let you know if I did. A couple days go by. Have you heard from Emily? No. It got to a point where mom calls me and she's like, Brandon, have you heard from Emily? And I said, okay, mom, this is really weird. Now let me call a couple of her friends. I called a few of her friends and they all said, as a matter of fact, now that you mention it, I haven't heard from Emily in almost a week. And this was January 10th. I phoned my mom back and I told her, I was like, no one else has heard from her. So when nobody had heard from her on the 10th, I called Hamilton police.
Yeah, so I knew it was you that actually was the one who filed the report, but as far as how it actually like what actually led to you being concerned, I understand she didn't show up for a planned visit. Tell me about that. Like, I'm assuming it was like a certain day of the week or something. She would come by to see Kinsley and spend time with Kinsley.
She would message my mom and ask if she could come by on days that weren't scheduled. But when it got to a certain point when she was missing visits and not contacting my mom, it was my mom and my stepdad started to get concerned because they have done amazing work with my daughter. And I don't know where I would be or Kinsley would be if it wasn't for these two. They're my superheroes right now, and Kinsley's as well. So they started getting worried, and then it started worrying me. And it got to a point now I regret that it took 10 days. It should have been 2 days after it called, but Emily's known to go off the grid for a couple days here and there, not for 10 days. She messaged me New Year's Eve around 12:30 in the afternoon, mentioning that she's like, hey, you're really good at getting cars for rent. Can you I need one for the day. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I have some running around to do and I need a driver. I'll pay them. And I was like, okay, this is a little odd because her boyfriend Jeff at the time, he had a truck. That's all I was wondering. He's like, why do you need a vehicle if Jeff has a truck? And then we stopped talking from then. And at 2:39 a.m. New Year's morning, I messaged her Happy New Year. And that is the last message that has been opened and delivered to her on Facebook.
Oh wow, okay. And she didn't respond to it, obviously, right?
No.
So the thing with the car, this is the first I heard of her needing a car or looking for a car on New Year's Eve, or well, at least the afternoon of that day. Did she elaborate on the running around, like what she needed to do or why she would have needed this car?
She didn't have to with me because I knew what it was for. Jeff was going to every store he could and stealing stuff and then reselling it. And there was a point she called me and she was in the video called me and she was in the basement, like with a power grinder, sanding down copper so they could go sell it. And I'm like, well, what is going on? This guy's supposed to be having a job, all this good stuff's going on for you. And then when she told me she was pregnant with this kid, that's what I think triggered whatever ended up happening to Emily going missing with Jeff.
Wow. Okay. 'Cause this is new to me as well. So I just want to back up and we'll go through this slow.
Nobody else wants to tell you the truth.
Her and Jeff. So the business that they're talking about, you mentioned, is like stealing and reselling stuff. So if she needed a car, it was likely to get somewhere to steal stuff. Is that what you thought? Like what you think, or?
That's what I think they wanted it for at the time, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And okay. So that's one thing. And then yeah, I had not heard that she was pregnant. Did she tell you, or how did you find that out?
Like I said, we were so close. She messaged me and said, she's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. Why? What's up? She's like, are you alone? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, call me. I have to tell you something. I'm like, okay. So I had called her and she's like, Brandon, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I took a pregnancy test and it's positive.
Whoa. And when was this? Sorry.
It was, I can go back and check the exact date for you.
Mm-hmm.
It was on November 24th. She sent me a picture of a pregnancy test.
Whoa. Okay. So basically just a month and a week or two prior to her disappearance. Okay.
Yeah. And at the time, she was staying with a friend of hers because I guess she was on and off rocky with where she was with Jeff. And she told me that her and Jeff were taking a break and that Jeff was coming by to talk to her so they could talk about the little situation.
Oh,
she said
shit.
it went okay, and then she ended up going back and staying with Jeff.
Wow. Yeah, this Jeff, did you like how well did you know him, and what kind of experiences did you have with this guy?
Emily would tell me about him, and she constantly told me, she's like, I want you guys to meet each other, but I don't want you guys to meet each other. And I'm like, it's probably a good idea. Mm. And then when she stopped responding, I started talking to Jeff online, and I was questioning him on what's going on. Like, where's Emily? Have you seen her? And he said no. And then so I reported her missing on January 10th. Mm-hmm. The next morning, January 11th, there was a picture posted on East Hamilton Watch Facebook group of an abandoned black pickup truck out in Alberton. And that's where this mysterious truck came into play.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was either Jeff or Dean's truck. So I messaged Jeff right away. I'm like, yo, bro, where the fuck's your truck? What's going on? Where's Emily? I was getting mad. Mm-hmm. This is the first time I've reached my house arrest. And I drove to Hamilton at maybe 12:30 in the morning. I called Jeff. I'm like, yo, are you at home? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm out front of your house. Come outside and talk to me. He came outside and talked to me. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I was super calm. And he was very timid, and to the point where I heard what happened to him the night before, where some people had shown up to his house and said, we're here to look for Emily. We're coming in. Mm-hmm. They went in. Whatever happened, I showed up. I'm like, so I heard you had a couple people here yesterday. And he's like, yeah, they came by. And I'm like, it looks like nobody touched you. Nobody hurt you. Everything's okay. And then he had told me his truck was in the impound since December, and that wasn't his truck. Hmm. So I told him, until he's fully cleared, he's still going to be a suspect in my book. Mm-hmm. And until he can clear his name on whatever comes up, I will, as a man, apologize to him for whatever it was. I came to him and I was like, I told you I'd apologize to you about the truck, so I'm sorry. And he's like, thank you. I was like, he backed up and he's like, you're not going to hit me or anything, right? That's what triggered me a little bit. I'm like, why do you think I'm going to hit you? Mm. Is there something you're hiding? And I was like, I thought you went to the hospital and you cut up your hands. He had no bandages on his hands or anything.
Okay.
And then he invited me into his house. I went into his house and there's a whiteboard in his kitchen that has Emily's friends' names and numbers, some of them written on them. And when Emily's phone went missing in the middle of December, she lost it or broke it or something, allegedly. I looked behind Jeff in his dining room, and there's a stack of maybe 8 phones just sitting there. And that was a little
Weird.
something that just kept in the ticker there.
Yeah, that is certainly odd. So you show up at his house again, and this will come into play. You're on house arrest, so you're supposed to be back in like Scarborough or whatever.
Yeah.
You're so kind of concerned about this Jeff guy. You drive all the way to Hamilton. You get him to come outside, and you have this talk. And he right from there he invites you in, and you go into his place. Did he like? What was his mood like?
He was high as he was really high on whatever it was that he was on.
Mm-hmm.
It was not normal.
Okay.
His eyes were so pinholed and beady, they were darting all over the place. He couldn't stay still. He was up and down from sitting. And then all of a sudden, I'm this really amicable, nice guy that he respects me and he appreciates that I came to him the way I did. And he's like, I appreciate that. And I thank you for not coming here and hitting me.
And this is your first time meeting this guy, right?
Yes.
What about this? You said you were writing to him after Emily didn't respond. Tell me about that. Like, when did your messages to Jeff start, and what was he saying about where she was and all this stuff?
The messages would have started in early January. I can go back and see if I can find them.
This is just like through Facebook. You're writing him, right?
Yeah. So January 11th was the first message I sent him at 10:12. I'm like, hey, you are the last known person and place to have Emily. She is missing. What do you know? Called him, he didn't answer. I'm like, where's Emily? No more games. You were the last to see her and have her in your house. Too many people want and need her home safely. Too many things lead back to you. It's in your best interest to cooperate with anybody who asks you. At January 11th, 9:32 p.m., he's like, yo, what the fuck, bro? Call me. I'm like, okay. I call him. And that's when he tries to explain to me very mumble like on the phone that he's like, oh, I don't know where Emily was. Like he said New Year's Eve, she said they got into a bit of an argument and she left, but she didn't say where she was going. And Jeff had mentioned to me that he told her, oh, I'll always care for you. I'll always be there for you. Anything you need, just let me know. And that's what Jeff told me then.
Okay. So according to, like, as far as what he told you, she just walked off from his house, and that's the last he sees her. Wow. All right. So you go to his house. He lets you in there. You see the phones. How does this end? Eventually, do you just like shake his hand and like, see you later, buddy?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I'm like, everybody's a suspect, but there's nothing worse than an innocent person being blamed for something they didn't do. I've been on the receiving end of that many times.
Yeah.
But there's no answers, nothing. We're left in the dark with all of this. And I tell my mom and my dad and my close family, I'm like, I know I'm on conditions for staying home, but in my heart of hearts, I'm going to go look for Emily. If I do get stopped by police, I know I did it for the right reason.
Mm-hmm.
And February 9th,
mm-hmm.
this is after I did the rally that we did. I got arrested February 9th, breaching house arrest. And that's when I went away for the 4 months. I just came back out now.
Yeah. And what you mean went away? You got arrested for breaching your conditions to stay at home or whatever. And my understanding is that when you weren't at home and breached your conditions, it was to conduct a search or be involved in a search for Emily. Is that right?
Yes. So when I reported her missing on January 10th, I created what was supposed to be initially like a get together of her friends to just think of what to do and start looking for her. And it was planned for, I think it was January 15th, the Saturday, but the weather was minus 30 that day. So we scheduled it for the 16th. Mm-hmm. By this time, there's reporters from the Hamilton Spectator, CHCH, CP24 that have contacted me and got wind of the rally.
Okay.
Was the CHCH showed up to Beasley Park on the January 16th, and that's when they did the first set of news and videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know the one because I saw you interviewed or at least talked to briefly, I think, in that report.
Yes, it's the same one that you used in the start of Lori's podcast.
I am a mess. I need my daughter back.
Wherever she is, just please come home, man. We love you, miss you.
Friends and family of 23-year-old Emily Bailey gathered today to post flyers across the city. They say she was last seen in the area of Barton and Kenilworth on January 2nd.
This is very out of character. I know. She would get in contact to see her daughters. These babies mean everything to her.
She's never done anything like this before. She's an amazing mother.
Brandon Hunter and Emily share a child together, 22-month-old Kinsley.
All right. But where does the arrest happen? When is it that they get you for breaching your orders?
February 9th. So at this point, I'm back and forth between Scarborough and Hamilton, just doing everything I can, trying to figure out things, follow up on leads, do whatever I can to try and get answers. Mm-hmm. And I'm leaving a store and police show up there and they ID me, and I'm not gonna hide anything. I gave them my name. And they ran it and they said, you're on a release order where you're supposed to be in your residence or with your surety. And I wholeheartedly explained to them, I'm here. This is a family emergency. The mother of my daughter is missing. It's in your database. I reported her missing with you guys. And they said, there's some things we can give leniency to and other things we can't. But we're sorry, we have to take you in on an undertaking of breach of conditions.
Wow. And then you
that's
do
when
4 months you were back in because of this?
Yes, I went in February 9th and I just got released on June 4th.
Wow. Okay.
And in those 4 months, that's when a whole slew of comments and slanders, because everyone got wind of me being in jail. Oh, maybe Brandon did it. Why is Brandon in jail? How is Brandon in jail now? Oh, it's kind of weird that Brandon and Emily got really close. Now Brandon's in jail.
Let me just ask you this: the original charges and stuff against you that led to this bond, this condition, and all this stuff, is any of it violent in nature, or is it something altogether different?
No, I'll be honest with you. They were drug charges.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. I'm going to bounce it around a bit with a few things that are just on my head. Is one, you mentioned, so Emily had told you that she was pregnant with Jeff's kid. She was anxious about it. She talked to him and it seemed to go okay. Did you have any other conversations either with her or Jeff about her pregnancy after that?
I did with her, and she told me that she was going to go and get an abortion. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking that's what might have set off a trigger and started a downward spiral.
But you don't know of her ever actually going through with that, do you?
I don't know. I can't confirm that.
Yeah. But I guess I'm just thinking you're in touch with her a lot. If she was, you likely would have been one of the people that she turned to for support, or at least talked it out as that was happening. And did you ever bring up the pregnancy or abortion with Jeff by chance?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I wanted to ask you a bit about Nikki. So in the last episode I did covering Emily's story, I had Nikki, who was a bartender at a time and connected with Emily through that profession. I had her on the show, and she was well connected with Jeff, as Jeff is her husband or partner's brother. Nikki, do you know her at all? And if so, what kind of interactions did you have with her?
I've known Nikki as long as I've known Emily.
Really? Okay.
I met them both at the same time at the same bar.
Oh, okay. Was Nikki working at this bar that you met Emily at?
It was a different bar by a different name at the time, but yes.
Okay. All right. And tell me about her. Like, what was your relationship like with her? What did you know about her? And the reason I'm asking is I guess I was surprised at how close she actually is with Emily.
The way Emily described Nikki was that Nikki was her aunt.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so every time we would go to the bar, she's like, hey, come, my aunt's working. Let's go see my aunt. And then me and Nikki developed a relationship on a certain level through the bar. And then a few years went by. Me and Emily broke up. Me and Nikki fell out of contact until now, when Emily went missing and Nikki found out through me that Emily was missing.
All right. Can you talk at all? You say you had a relationship through the bar with Nikki. Do you mean just in terms of like you go there and she worked there, or was there anything else to it that you can tell me about?
No, that was it. She was a bartender there, and
Yeah.
it was 7 days a week karaoke. So I was like,
Okay.
boom, I'm in.
All right.
Yeah.
As far as what Emily and Jeff were doing together, I don't know how much you know about them, like whatever crime they were involved in with stealing or whatnot. But do you think it could have been something that was going far enough that she'd be putting herself in danger, or are we talking about kind of petty crime that these
Petty
two?
crime. It was just like LCBOs, Walmart, and she'd always stayed in the vehicle. She would call me while he was in the store. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, I'm sitting in the truck, just in the store." I'm like,
Oh,
oh, "Okay, cool."
oh, so he would go in the store and grab stuff, while
Yeah,
she, and she would be outside as the driver or just holding off in the car or whatever as he shoplifted or whatever. Because my understanding is that he's in prison now and has been since sometime right after her disappearance. I wonder if this is connected to why he's in jail now. This stuff.
no, it's not. I do know why he is in jail though.
Are you able to say?
He is in jail right now on a previous domestic for his ex-girlfriend. That is also a friend of Emily's.
Really? Okay.
He beat her so bad one time with a plastic chainsaw that he thought he killed her.
Okay.
And this is right from the girl that did it. And she's shown me her court papers with Jeff's name on it.
Nikki, she made it sound like he never had any violent history.
He did. And the mother of his children also has domestic charges against him.
Um, and with Jeff, so you have this time where you go to his house and talk to him. Did either of you have much contact after that? But I guess my understanding is he got arrested not long after that, I believe.
Yeah, and a couple weeks after the first rally, so probably from January 16th up until maybe the 27th or so,
Mm-hmm.
he would message me and ask if I had any more information, and whatever little tidbits of information that I had gathered from people, it would go to him or whatever, and he made it seem to me like he was extremely worried and trying to help and doing everything he can. He's like, "Oh, I just want to find her as much as everybody else. I miss her, this and that." And then one day it just switched, and he's like, "Yo, bro, what are you doing? I heard the cops stopped you at in Burlington. You're supposed to be in house arrest." I'm like, how the hell did you find that out? Because I was working and I was okay to be there because I was on a work day, so I was allowed to be there, and the cops left that day. But for the fact of him to go and switch and then start saying, "What's going on with you? What's up?"
Mm-hmm.
And it got to a point where he was getting aggressive enough to the fact that he wanted to fight me.
Like, what do you mean by that? Like, just in terms of his tone, or did he actually say something?
Yeah, the tone of what he was saying to me, it was like, "Oh, are you accusing me of something? Like, do you want to fight?" But I'm the bigger man here, and I'm the only surviving parent right now as it stands for Kinsley. I'm not going to go and put myself in more trouble over you. It's not worth it.
Mm-hmm. Give me a sense of like what he was saying. Like, I'm just trying to imagine in a message how it gets like that. Like, was he like actually accusing you of something, or was it just a line of questioning? Like, what exactly was he saying to you?
So this January 25th, he's like, "Yo, man, what's up? What's going on with you?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "With everything going on right now, bro, there are limitations to what you can be doing." He's like, "Where's your head at, dude?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I'm hearing a lot of different things these days for what and why." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "What the fuck? What did you do, Brandon?" I'm like, "Technically, I was breaching house arrest, but I was at work." And I was like, "Because Emily is family, that's the mother of my daughter, and I was working, I was okay." And then he's like, "Then why are the police after you? Why are they questioning you?" And then I went and did a 2-hour video deposition with the police, and my name was cleared. They said they never had one thought of it being me or me having anything to do with it. For one, why am I going to put myself at risk and show face on national television, put my name in newspapers, and have all that out there if I did anything?
Mm-hmm. Okay. But yeah, I'm getting kind of in reading those messages, I'm kind of getting a sense of where it's going. Yeah, it is odd that he would know all that stuff and that he would bring it to you. With seeing Emily, someone you know well and care about, the mother of your child, seeing her now on the news, missing persons posters, like, does it even feel real to you at this point? Like, when you're walking down the street, if you see a missing persons poster of Emily, like, how do you deal with this, to see all this stuff, and seeing it online and podcasts being made about her?
Well, while I was inside, it was easier for me to not, because I didn't see anything that was going on. And then when I got out on the last Friday, I came to my mom's house really quick and seen my daughter. And then I came back very early the next morning. And that's when my mom showed me the picture book. And that's what started it. I just broke down crying. And anytime I see her picture now, it's just, no matter what, at the end of the day, I always have and I always will have love for her. She's the mother of my child. She was an amazing mother. She still is an amazing mother. It's setting in that my daughter needs me more than anything right now, and that's my main focus, is to be the best father that I can be for my daughter, because she deserves that more than anything.
I want to thank you for joining Brandon and I for this discussion surrounding the disappearance of Emily Bailey. Just like I said at the end of the prior episode, this conversation has yet again changed the way I view this case, and an even more disturbing set of circumstances seem to be revealing themselves. But our work with this series isn't done yet. There's still more to cover, but it's going to include a time jump. Up until now, the interviews you heard were all conducted in 2022, in the months immediately after Emily's disappearance. What followed was 4 years of relative silence, and the case slowly turning cold. But unexpectedly, in May of 2026, something changed.
Meanwhile, just east of downtown Hamilton, a search warrant was executed yesterday as police continued to look for Emily Bailey. The mother of two has been missing for more than 4 years. Authorities conducting the search on a home on Stinson Street. Officers have not commented on what they are looking for, but say you can expect to see a heavy police presence here for several days.
One of the people who lives in the home says she knew Emily for years, but she had nothing to do with Bailey's disappearance, and says Emily's boyfriend, Jeff Johnson, isn't involved either.
I deny that I've never felt that she's even gone. They have nothing to do with it.
43-year-old Nicole Margerison says her boyfriend, Dean Johnson, who lives with her inside the Stinson Street home, wasn't involved either. And neither was Dean's brother, Jeff Johnson, who was Emily Bailey's boyfriend.
Part 5 in this series was going to be released shortly, and it's going to include Emily's brother Ben rejoining us to get us caught up on everything that happened in Emily's case over the past 4 years. And most interestingly, over the past week. That episode, Part 5 in the series, will be released shortly. But until then, anyone who would like to follow this story closely and learn more about Emily's case is invited to join the Missing Emily Bailey Facebook group. I've added a link in this episode's description to help get you there. Additionally, anyone close to the story is welcome to contact me via thecanadiangothic.com/contact. I'd be very interested in speaking to you. Now, with that said, I'm going to start wrapping up this episode, but before we part, I have some thanks. First, a big thanks to Lori for sharing this story with me and with you, the listeners of the Canadian Gothic. And of course, a massive thanks goes out to each and every one of you listening to the show, as without your interest and your support, the Canadian Gothic would be as pointless as it would be impossible. Now, on the topic of support, let me thank the newest subscribers to the premium feed, Nikki, Maya, and Jennifer. We appreciate your support. And for anyone else who'd like to support the show, you can help us out here in a variety of ways. First of all, the premium feed subscription costs just a couple bucks a month, and that money will fund the creation of new episodes. But the premium feed will also give you those episodes 2 days early, give them to you ad-free, and give you access to a back catalog of episodes. If that sounds like something you're interested in, you can go premium at thecanadiangothic.com/subscribe. And even if you don't want to go premium, you can still support the show by telling like-minded friends about what we're doing here. Your support is very much appreciated. So with all that said, take care of each other, hug your loved ones tight, and let us know if you see anything weird.
Thank you for listening to Canadian Gothic.